What's up, y'all? Dr. D here. I figured I'd get up here and get on the live real quick. If I stop clicking on everything besides what I'm trying to click on. Listen, I posted in a couple of different places, I don't know, within the last 30 minutes, and my fingers have been going. So I asked the question of what is the number one conflict between you and your partner? And I've asked this in several groups today, and and on my personal profile and my page, and I've gotten a lot of feedback, which I appreciate, and I've been able to respond. So I figured, I was like, man, let me go up here and do a little video real quick so I can really help you all this evening. So I gave specific answers to the specific situations, but I want to give you a way to really resolve whatever relationship conflicts you may have. It doesn't matter if it's with your partner, if it's with a business partner, if it's with your children, with your extended family, or what have you. But before I give you that answer, make sure you click and like this video, share it too, right? Somebody else might need this information. I'm gonna give you some of the things that I saw that were common in the different places. So one was parenting issues, blended family, values, attitude, trying to figure out what to eat, things as simple as changing the sheets or whatever the case might be. And when I read them, most of those posts have this one-sided look of blame. Okay. And the way that I help individuals to work through relationship dynamics is to share with them, don't focus on the person, focus on the problem. Let me say that again. Don't focus on the person, focus on the problem. Because we have emotions and we all express those emotions in different ways, we start focusing on what the real issue is, what the real problem is, and we start focusing on the individual and their emotions, their responses to whatever situation you may have going on. So if you can keep in your frame of mind not to focus on the person, but focus on the problem, you can resolve a conflict. Our emotions, yes, we need to express them in healthy ways, but just expressing our emotions doesn't necessarily resolve the problem. We get so caught up in the emotions and being emotive that we never address the problem. So, for example, if there's an issue with, I don't know, cleaning, right? If there's an issue with cleaning, all of a sudden someone says something about something in the house that needs to be cleaned, and the way that they said it, we get from the problem of the house not being clean to, well, you said this, well, you said this, and and all this other stuff, and then the problem is still there. Now you have another problem because you just added an argument to it, you know. So focus on the problem and not the person. And I also know that people have a hard time identifying what the problem is. So I'm going to give you a very clear strategy on how to do that. All right. So first sit down and think, the two of you, right? And you may not need to address this right away. Oftentimes people want to address a problem right away. And that's probably when you need to table it, is what I tell some of my clients, is to table it, because you got so much emotion that you can't see through it. You might say, hey, we're at an impasse right now. Let's step back from this thing, step back from it for about 15, 20 minutes. You got to definitely come back to it, because if you don't, you ever heard someone say that we always sweep it under the rug? We never resolve anything, because sometimes we avoid problems. Sometimes we don't even address the major problem or whatever. So once you're calm, and when I say calm, you're not all excitable, right? You sit down and think, what is it? What is the issue? What is the problem? So I'll go back to the example of the house being clean. So now that we got the emotion out the way, or the grass being cut or whatever the case might be, what's the problem? Hey, we've been working a whole lot and the house hasn't been clean, for example. All right, so now we're focusing on the problem, the house being clean, and not focusing on the person. Okay, then the two of you come up with at least 10 strategies, okay? 10 strategies, I don't care how absurd it is, of how you can resolve the grass cutting problem. So it could be like, hey, just let that freaking grass grow till the top, until it turns into trees, for all I care, right? You're writing down. You want to write down as many, brainstorm, you and your partner, as many things as you can in order to resolve this problem, right? Because you don't want to come up with, say, well, if you just cut the grass, well, I don't want to cut the grass. Or if you just pay a lawn thing, it'll be this either or back thing. either or back and forth type of thing. And you don't want that. You want to create options together, and then you're going to decide on what's the best option. So you've come up with 10 different things. Hire the little boy across the street that half cuts the grass for $10. Hire the lawn care place is going to charge us $500. Let it stay for another week. It's not going to rain this week. You come up with all these 10 things. Then the two of you look at those 10 things together and say, what are the cost and benefits of each of these options, right? And after you look at all the cost and benefits of each of those options, then the two of you pick not the best answer, but you pick one that you want to try based on that new information, right? Not based on how you feel about it, how this person feels about it, or whatever the case might be, how the two of you feel based on the new information that you came up with together, right? And then you decide to do that, whatever that option is. Now, you've done that. Let's say you actually decide to get, you're going to pay the little boy across the street to cut the grass, right? You also want to go back and revisit the problem because you want to make sure it got resolved. Not that it just got cut, but is this, did this really work out for us? Is this the best solution for getting the grass cut? You want to have a conversation. Hey, honey, do you think, for cutting the grass, because we got to cut the grass every couple of weeks, right? Is it good? Are we good with just paying the guy the little boy across the street? Is that working for us? And the two of you talk about it and have a conversation. Yeah, you know what? It's fine. I don't have to worry about it. It frees up 2 hours of our schedule every Saturday. You and I can spend time together. It's working amazing. Or it says, no, honey, I hate it. The weeds are growing. They're choking the flowers. And so let's say it doesn't work. You still have those 10, you have 9 more things on that list that you can go back to. It may be not to hire the most expensive landscape person, but it may be to hire your friend who has a side business doing it. So my point is, that you need to not only develop a problem, a strategy, which I just gave you on how to resolve conflict with your partner, but you have to recognize that just because you're having a conflict and it involves another person, that other person is not your problem. The problem is the problem. All right. So Dr. D has to go get on this boundaries call. I hope this helps someone this evening. You guys going to crush your day. I'm going to crush mine.